Hello everyone. So in carbohydrates part 2 lecture we have discussed about the cyclic structure of glucose and different types of forms of cyclic structure of glucose like Haworth structure and then chair conformation structure of alpha D glucopyranose as well as Fischer structure, Haworth structure and chair conformation structure of beta D glucopyranose. After that we have discussed about preparation methods of fructose and then open chain structure elucidation of fructose. So based on different kind of reactions we have confirmed that the open chain structure of fructose like this as we have discussed in part 2. So this is the open chain structure of fructose. Here this is D minus fructose, we have discussed everything. So in this fructose the carbonyl group is at second carbon, so that is a keto group is present, right. So in this present part 3 lecture we are going to discuss about the cyclic structure of fructose and then epimers, anomers and then epimerization, after that ozone formation reactions. Okay. So now we will be moving towards cyclic structure of fructose, right. So here as we have discussed the open chain structure of fructose like this, right, that is CH2OH at first carbon, C double bond O at second carbon, third carbon OH, fourth carbon CHOH, fifth carbon CHOH, sixth carbon CH2OH. This is the open chain structure of fructose, right. So in this the carbonyl group is at second carbon, so right. So now third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon hydroxy group, fifth carbon alcohol group OH group is reacting with the second carbon carbonyl group, second carbon carbonyl group. So now what will happen? So as it is a alcohol which is reacting with a ketone, so then we will get a hemiketal form, because only one alcohol group is reacting here. So we will be getting hemiketal form, right. So this O at fifth carbon, O at fifth carbon will be bonded to the second carbon, and that second carbon C double bond O will get O minus and this H plus will be absorbed by that O minus, right. So then it will be converted to OH, so that OH, this OH would be maybe would right side or it may be at left side, it may be at right side or it may be at left side, right. So here this is as this keto group is reacting with one alcohol group, we will be getting two kind of hemiketal forms, so that there is a bond formation in between the fifth carbon oxygen, that is fifth carbon hydroxy oxygen, and second carbon carbonyl carbon, and this C double bond O will become OH. So the OH orientation would be maybe right side or maybe left side, right. So here because of the formation of new bond in between the O and second carbon, so there is a ring formation takes place in between second, third, fourth, fifth and oxygen, right. So 4 carbon atoms, second carbon, third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon are there in the cycle, and oxygen, one oxygen is there. So that a 5-membered ring is formed. Just observe here, second, third, fourth, fifth and then oxygen, right. So here we will be getting a cyclic structure among the second, third, fourth, fifth and oxygen. So that we will be getting 5-membered ring, right. So here these two are the hemiketal forms, and if OH is right side, that is alpha fructofuranose, this is hemiketal form, and if OH is at left side, that is beta fructofuranose. So like this fructose is having two cyclic structure. So here as we are observing two cyclic structures of glucose, one is alpha. So here we are observing the two cyclic structures of fructose. So one is alpha D fructofuranose and another one is beta D fructofuranose. So observe here at second carbon. So this second carbon is attached to one OH and along with a CH2OH, along with a CH2OH. So here also the similar kind, one is with OH and another one is with CH2OH. So if you observe the cyclic structure, the first carbon is not in the cycle, the first carbon which is attached to the second carbon, that is CH2OH is there, and here also the fifth carbon will be having one more CH2OH. So here the OH group is at right side, that is alpha D fructofuranose, and the OH group is at left side, that is beta D fructofuranose. So why it is called as furanose? Furan plus ose, that is furanose, because furan is a 5-membered ring, okay, that is which is consisting of oxygen, right? So similar to the furan, so as it is a 5-membered ring, hence it is called as a furanose because it is a carbohydrate. So that is ose, right? So furanose. So as it is a 5-membered ring, it is called as furanose. So this is alpha D fructofuranose and the second one is beta D fructofuranose. So now we will see different kind of forms of cyclic structures of fructose. This is alpha D fructofuranose, okay. So OH group is at right side at second carbon, and that is first is CH2OH, then CHOH, 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 and this O is bonded to the second carbon, and that is CH2OH, right. So here this is alpha D fructofuranose, which is in hemiketal form. So this kind of line structure is called as Fischer structure. This kind of line structure is called as Fischer structure. So when this Fischer structure is rotated 90 degrees towards right side direction, rotated 90 degrees towards right side direction, there will be getting Haworth structure. There will be getting Haworth structure. Haworth structure. So in this Haworth structure, so as we are rotating this to a Fischer structure to a 90 degrees, then what will happen? The groups which are at the right side will be downward direction, the groups which are on left side will be upward direction, because we are rotating like this, okay. So just observe here. So this is the 5-membered furanose structure of fructose, right. So this is alpha D fructofuranose, that is Haworth structure, right. So here oxygen, second carbon, this is second carbon, and then third, fourth, fifth, right. So here at second carbon OH is downward direction because it is right side direction, right. Here also at fourth carbon again OH is in downward direction, and remaining all carbons, the CH2OH groups are on upward direction, because here CH2OH groups are left side direction, right. So the basic thing here is whatever the groups which are on right side will be getting downward direction, and groups which are on left side will be having upward direction. So this is the Haworth structure of alpha D fructofuranose, right. Next one is beta D fructofuranose. So just observe here the same thing which is like alpha D fructofuranose, but here the OH group is at left side and the CH2OH group is at right side at second carbon, and remaining all are same. And here the same thing, we are this is the this line kind of structure is called Fischer structure, right. So we are rotating the Fischer structure towards right side about 90 degrees. So then we will be getting a Haworth structure of beta D fructofuranose, right. So here at second carbon, as CH2OH is on right side, then it will be getting downward direction, and OH would be upward direction, right. So all these groups will be downward direction, all the groups which are on left side will be upward direction, right. At second carbon CH2OH is downward direction and OH is upward direction, and remaining all carbons would be the same like alpha D fructofuranose, right. So this is what is the Haworth structure of beta D fructofuranose, right, as it is a 5-membered ring, right. And here chair conformation structures are not possible because it is only 5-membered ring. For 6-membered rings only we can write chair structures, chair conformations. So alpha D fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose are not we cannot write those structures in the chair conformation. Okay. Now we will be moving to the next reaction, that is reduction reactions of glucose, fructose and mannose, right. So as glucose is having a aldehyde group, so this is structure of glucose we have seen, right. So we know this is the open chain structure of glucose, right. So glucose is having a free aldehyde group. So this free aldehyde group can be reduced by using a reducing agent like LiAlH4 or NaBH4. So that will be this CHO aldehyde group is converted to alcohol. As we know, carbonyl compounds upon reduction will be converted to alcohols, right. So here as aldehyde group is present, this aldehyde group is converted to alcohol because of the reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, right. So this so what is happening here, in all the carbons are attached with the OH groups, this is called as sorbitol or glucitol, So when glucose is undergoing for reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, we will be getting a product that is called sorbitol or glucitol. So here the CHO is reduced to CH2OH, so that it forms sorbitol or glucitol. So we know the mannose structure. Okay. So mannose, the difference between mannose and glucose is only one thing, at second carbon. So in the glucose second carbon OH group is at right side, in the mannose at second carbon OH group is at left side. So this is the structure of mannose, right. It is also having aldehyde group, and when it is reduced with lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride, again the same thing, this CHO will be converted to CH2OH. So now what will happen, we will be getting a mannitol. So whatever the product which we are getting from the mannose is called as mannitol. So mannose upon reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride will be getting mannitol, right. So if you go for the fructose, so this is the open chain structure of fructose. If you reduce the fructose with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, so now what will happen, as the carbonyl group is present at second carbon, as the carbonyl group is present at second carbon, so it is reduced to alcohol, right. It is reduced to alcohol. So in that case when it forms a alcohol, so the whatever the OH group, this C double bond O will become OH, and that OH would be maybe at right side or it may be at left side, means the OH orientation may be at right side or left side. So if it is right side, we will be getting like a glucose product, that is called sorbitol or glucitol. If it is left side, we will be getting a product which is from mannose, right. So that is called mannitol, right. So when we are reducing the fructose with lithium aluminum hydride and or sodium borohydride, we will be getting a mixture of both sorbitol and mannitol, So these are the reduction reactions of glucose, mannose and fructose with lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. The next one is anomers. So what are anomers, right? So anomers are the carbohydrate isomers which are having different configuration at first carbon. Okay, the carbohydrate isomers which are differ in configuration at first carbon, that is C1, are called as anomers. So for example, alpha D-glucopyranose and beta D-glucopyranose. So both will have a similar kind of structure, but these two are differ at first carbon. In the case of alpha D-glucopyranose, the OH group is at right side, and in the case of beta D-glucopyranose, the OH group is at left side, and at remaining all carbons the configuration is same. The configuration is same. So here, as these two are having different configuration at first carbon, so that's why these two are the example for anomers. So first carbon in carbohydrate isomers is called as anomeric carbon. So this is the example for anomers. The next one is epimers. What are epimers? Carbohydrate isomers which are differ in configuration at any single asymmetric center or at any single asymmetric carbon. So those are called epimers. So the carbohydrate isomers which are having a different configuration at any single asymmetric carbon. So either it may be first carbon, it may be second carbon, or it may be third carbon, or it may be fourth to fifth carbon, right? So whatever the carbon, but at only at one single asymmetric center, and remaining all centers the configuration would be same, right? So for example, take glucose and mannose. Okay, so when we observe the structures of glucose and mannose, this is the structure of glucose, that is at second carbon OH group is at left side, and at third carbon OH group is at left side. At second, yeah. So here if we observe a example, that is glucose and mannose, right. So if you observe the structures of glucose and mannose, so these are the structures of glucose and mannose, right. So as we know the open chain structure of glucose, and these two are having similar kind of configuration, but when compared with glucose and mannose, at second carbon in the glucose the OH group is at right side, and in the mannose the OH group is at left side, and at remaining all carbons the configuration is same. Right. So these two are having different configuration at only second carbon. So that's why these two, that is glucose and mannose, are called as C2 epimers. Right. So if you observe another example, that is glucose and galactose. So these two are having different configuration at C4 carbon, and configuration at remaining all carbons is same. So that these two are called as C4 epimers. Galactose and glucose are called as C4 epimers. So this is what is anomers and epimers. Next one is epimerization. Epimerization means conversion of one epimer to another epimer is called as epimerization, right. So for example, take glucose and mannose, conversion of glucose to mannose. So this, yeah, so observe the conversion of glucose to mannose. Just observe here, this is the glucose, structure of glucose as we know, right. So when glucose is treated with bromine water, right, so this aldehyde group is oxidized to COOH, because bromine water is a oxidizing reagent. So now what will happen, this aldehyde group is converted to COOH group. This forms gluconic acid, right. So when it is treated with pyridine is acting as a proton acceptor as well as a proton donor, right. So when we treated this gluconic acid with a pyridine, now what will happen, the OH group at left side, the configuration at left side is changed. At second carbon, the OH group at alpha carbon is reversed, means we will be getting a product which is inverted product, because pyridine takes alpha hydrogen, because alpha hydrogens are more reactive, so that again it accepts the pyridine is reacting with alpha hydrogens of gluconic acid. So it accepts the alpha hydrogen from gluconic acid, and then after that it will again donate the so here pyridine is acting as a proton acceptor as well as a proton donor. So here when pyridine is reacting with gluconic acid, so pyridine takes the alpha hydrogen because alpha hydrogens are more reactive, right. So pyridine take the alpha hydrogen from gluconic acid, and then after that it will donate the hydrogen to the gluconic acid. So then what will happen, at alpha carbon the configuration is reversed because of the pyridine reaction, because as we are using pyridine, so the configuration is reversed at alpha carbon, nothing but at a second carbon, right. So because of the pyridine proton acceptor and donor action, the configuration at alpha carbon is reversed, so that we will be getting OH group is at left side, so that we will be getting OH group at left side, right. So this is when this compound, when this compound is undergoing for heat, so then there is a formation of gamma lactone formation would be there, gamma lactone. Just observe here. So here this is alpha carbon, this is alpha, this is beta, and this is gamma, right. So as this is having C double bond OOH, that is CO OH group, and this OH and hydrogen from gamma hydroxyl group, hydrogen from gamma hydroxy group will leaves as water, and there is a bond formation between gamma carbon oxygen and C double bond O, gamma carbon oxygen and C double bond O, and this gives gamma lactone. This is called gamma lactone, that is C double bond O which is bonded with gamma carbon oxygen, right. So this is gamma lactone is formed. So when gamma lactone is undergoing for reduction with sodium amalgam, so then this cycle is broken, then this carbon will get a hydrogen and this also will get hydrogen, right. So this bond between the C double bond O and oxygen will break, and we will get one hydrogen and one hydrogen, so that this will be converted into aldehyde group, and this gamma oxygen will get hydrogen and it converted to OH, and this is the product that is called mannose. This is the product is called mannose, right. So this is what is called conversion of glucose to mannose, that is called epimerization. So one epimer, that is glucose, is converted to mannose because glucose and mannose are C2 epimers. So here this reaction is very important because when we use pyridine reacting with alpha hydrogens, so that we will be getting a inversion product. So that's why the OH group at right side is converted to left side, right. At alpha carbon OH is reversed, means by using pyridine we will be getting a inversion product. So that's why we will be getting this compound, so that based on further reaction we will be getting D-mannose as a product. So this is what is called epimerization, conversion of one epimer to another epimer. The next one is ozone formation reaction. Ozone formation reaction. Okay. So when whether it is glucose or fructose or mannose, whatever it may be. So when a monosaccharide is treated with phenyl hydrogen, hydrogen is bonded with phenyl group, that is PH NH NH2, that is PH NH NH2. So when monosaccharides are treated with excess phenyl hydrogen, so then they form ozone, right. So for example glucose, so when glucose is treated with excess of phenyl hydrogen, then it forms glucosazone, right. So here now we will see the reaction process or reaction mechanism of ozone formation. So just observe here, okay. So this is the chain structure of glucose because it is having open free aldehyde group, right. So when it is treated with phenyl hydrogen, that is pH NH NH2. So here I have written NH2 NH pH, nothing but pH NH NH2, right. So now what will happen, the hydrogen, that is H2, which is attached to nitrogen, phenyl hydrogen hydrogen, and this C double bond O leaves as water, that, and there is a double bond formation between this carbon and nitrogen. There is a double bond formation between this carbon and nitrogen. So that you will be getting CH double bond N NH pH, right. Now, so after formation of this, then the second molecule of phenyl hydrogen is reacted, right. Now the second molecule of phenyl hydrogen will take hydrogen from second carbon. So this is hydrogen, this hydrogen, the H2, here hydrogen, and this hydrogen will be taken by the second phenyl hydrogen molecule, so that this phenyl hydrogen is converted to aniline and ammonia, and there is a bond breakage takes place in between nitrogen and nitrogen, and one hydrogen will be added here and one hydrogen will be added here, which are from at second carbon, and then that will leaves as aniline and ammonia, right. So here as this is undergoing for oxidation, so that you will be getting the second carbon will be converted to C double bond O, because that phenyl hydrogen has taken hydrogen from second carbon, that is H and OH, H from carbon and H from oxygen has taken, so that this second carbon will become C double bond O, that is a keto group is formed, a keto group is formed, right. So in this step phenyl hydrogen undergone for reduction, and this molecule will be oxidized, this molecule was oxidized. Now what will happen, right. So we will be getting C double bond O at second carbon, C double bond O at second carbon. Now this keto group which is formed here will be reacting another phenyl hydrogen molecule, so that this H2 and C double bond O, the double bond O will leaves as water, and again there is a double bond formation between this carbon and this nitrogen, there is a double bond formation between this carbon and nitrogen, so that you will be getting C double bond N NH pH. So already at first carbon the same thing is there, that is CH double bond N NH pH, and at second carbon again now this is reacted, so that you will be getting C double bond N NH pH, right. And there is a hydrogen bonding interactions are there in between nitrogen. So one nitrogen from one carbon and another hydrogen which is attached to the nitrogen, right. So one phenyl hydrogen nitrogen is having a interaction, hydrogen bonding interaction with hydrogen of another phenyl hydrogen molecule, so that there is a cyclic formation takes place because of hydrogen bonding interaction between the nitrogen and hydrogen, right. So here the hydrogen bonding interaction takes place in between the nitrogen of one phenyl hydrogen molecule and hydrogen of another phenyl hydrogen molecule. So this is called ozone, this is called ozone. So as this glucose is forming ozone, and this is called glucosazone, this is glucosazone. So in the formation of glucosazone, so here in this structure we will be observing two phenyl hydrogen molecules, but as in the reaction mechanism there are three phenyl hydrogen molecules are reacted to form ozone, right. So glucose is reacted with three phenyl hydrogen molecule to form glucosazone, but in the ozone structure we will observe only two phenyl hydrogen molecules which are attached to the carbons, and here the in the second step one phenyl hydrogen molecule is reduced, so that it is it leaves as phenyl aniline and ammonia, it leaves as aniline and ammonia, right. So this is glucose is reacted with one phenyl hydrogen, so that we will be getting this, and then the second phenyl hydrogen is reduced, so that this molecule is oxidized, right. So we will be getting C double bond O again, and this C double bond O is reacted with another phenyl hydrogen molecule, and so that we will be getting ozone. As glucose is formed ozone, this is called glucosazone. This is called glucosazone, right? Yeah. So here to form osazone we required 3 molecules of phenyl hydrazine, right? So if you take fructose, right? So fructose is having CH2OH group at first carbon and C double bond O group at second carbon, right? So just observe the structure of glucosazone. Here this is the structure of glucosazone, right? To form osazone, the first and second carbons are reacted. The first and second carbons are reacted with phenyl hydrazine. First and second carbons are reacted with phenyl hydrazine, right? Now if you observe the structure of fructose, now the fructose is having CH2OH at first carbon and C double bond O at second carbon, and remaining carbons are containing of OH groups, right? So here to when fructose is reacted with 3 molecules of phenyl hydrazine, so then it also forms osazone, that is called fructosazone. So in the formation of osazone, first carbon and second carbon are reacted, so that we will be getting fructosazone. And when we observe the osazone structure of glucose as well as fructose, both will have a similar kind of osazone structure, means glucosazone and fructosazone will have same structure, because first and second carbons are only reacted with phenyl hydrazine to form osazone, and third, fourth, fifth carbons are not reacted, means in the glucose as well as fructose the configuration at C3, C4 and C5 are similar, are same. Here first and second carbons only different in glucose and fructose. So now what will happen, as first and second carbons are reacted with phenyl hydrazine, now osazone is formed with glucose as well as fructose, right? So automatically the osazone of glucose as well as osazone of fructose will have similar structure, because these two, that is glucose and fructose, are having same configuration at C3, C4 and C5, right? If you observe the structure of mannose, right? So mannose is also having similar structure of glucose, but the configuration differ at second carbon, that is called here, right? And when it is treated with 3 molecules of phenyl hydrazine, it also forms osazone, right? So this osazone structure is similar to the structure of glucosazone as well as fructosazone, because here to form osazone first and second carbon are reacted now. So and remaining all carbons configuration is same, because at C3, C4, C5 the configuration is same for glucose, fructose and mannose, as first and second carbons are only reacting here with phenyl hydrazine to form osazone. So automatically the osazone of glucose, fructose and mannose would be same, right? So as the C3, C4, C5 carbons are having same configuration in glucose, fructose and mannose, automatically their osazones are also having similar structure. So this is what is osazone formation of glucose, fructose and mannose, right? So in this lecture, so we have discussed the cyclic structure of fructose and alpha D fructofuranose, beta D fructofuranose, and then Haworth structure of alpha D fructofuranose and beta D fructofuranose, then anomers, epimers, and then epimerization process. After that we have discussed about osazone reaction, glucosazone formation, fructosazone formation and mannosazone formation. So all these glucosazone, fructosazone, mannosazone will have similar structure, because glucose, mannose, fructose are differ at only first and second carbon and are having same configuration at C3, C4, C5. So that all the 3 osazone would be having similar kind of structure. Thank you.